Welcome back. From pretty much the beginning, we've wondered about the toll the pandemic has been taking on all of us from a mental health standpoint. Well, studies are now making clear what many feared, that it is having a deep and damaging impact on many teenagers. Let's talk about that with two health professionals. Pediatrician Dr. Lynn Smitherman is with us from Wayne State University, and Mary Beth Garvey, a family therapist from Grosse Pointe. Mary Beth doesn't look old enough for me to say I've known her forever, but I've known her forever. And in fact, Mary Beth, let me start with you, because I can remember just a couple of weeks into this thing this past year, you were telling me that you were starting to get swamped with people who needed to talk to you, young people who needed to talk to you, and that was a long time ago. I don't imagine it's gotten any better.
No, Devin, I don't think it has become much better. One of the things that we're seeing in mental health is that adolescents really are facing a crisis. We're seeing the numbers in anxiety disorders going up and depressive disorders. There's an uptick in substance abuse. They're much more isolated than they've been historically. And even across the country, we're finding that mental health workers can't keep up with demands.
Yeah.
So they are really struggling. And when you think of where they are developmentally, it makes a lot of sense, because this is a time that adolescents are supposed to be pursuing novel experiences and expanding their autonomy, and they're absolutely hardwired for connection right now, especially with their peers. And so the fallout for them is significant.
Yeah. Dr. Smitherman, you recently wrote an article about what you're seeing. Describe what you've seen so far.
Well, yes, the same type of thing with our adolescents. Unfortunately, adolescents are social beings.
Yeah.
And when you disrupt their ability to do that, it's just very, very difficult for them, especially when their friends that graduated from high school, 2 or 3 years ago, had all the trappings that went along with it, the prom and all the fun things and the sports activities and that type of thing. And then, when they're not able to do that, it weighs pretty heavily, not only on themselves as individuals, but also, there's concern about, their family members, especially those that might be older, those that might be more susceptible to COVID-19 and all of the sequelae, the medical sequelae that go along with it. So that's a heavy burden, unfortunately, that our teenagers are bearing right now. We are seeing more significant, especially in the teenagers of color and minority populations. Unfortunately, they're getting hit a little bit harder with this, with everything else that's going on in their lives.
Yeah. Mary Beth, it's interesting. When you're a teenager, you, of course, think, because we were all this way, you think that this is going to be the best time of your life, and if you're wasting any portion of that time, it is a disaster. So the pressure to be living your best life when you're young is kind of enormous, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think teenagers understand intellectually that this is a pause and that we will get back to some type of normal. But I think one of the most important things that we can do as parents, and this sounds really simple, but it's hard to execute on, is just really validate what their hardships are right now. Because I think as parents, we have that desire to move them to gratitude or optimism, or to help them find some type of meaning in all these difficulties. It's so often you hear parents tell their kids, like, well, so-and-so has it worse, or it could be more of a struggle. And all of that is true, but I don't think we give our kids the opportunity to really recover and tap into their resilience until we just first start seeing and hearing them and really validating all the loss and the disruption that they've dealt with. And it's been significant.
And Dr. Smitherman, that's not easy right now for a lot of parents, because a lot of adults right now are kind of on their last nerve too. The pandemic is having an impact on all of us.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially if you have some parents that are trying to work from home and monitor their children as they're learning online. That's a huge issue. And then just being, kind of sequestered together for long periods of time. I think sometimes school was a relief for some parents, or, going to work was a relief for some parents. The family had a chance to kind of get out into the world and then come back again and reconnect. And unfortunately, when you're connected all day, day, every single day, that can be a little stressful for everybody.
Because sequestered is a nice clinical way of maybe saying trapped is the way that I think some people probably feel about it. Yeah. Mary Beth, the other thing, though, that I thought was really interesting is about this when it started was I thought this is going to be really hard for a lot of kids. And then I thought, you know what? For some young people, the ones who are bullied at school, the ones who dread going to school every day, was there going to be an upside to this for them? Has that been the case? Has this been good for anybody?
Yeah, sure. I think there's some kids, especially if there's been any experiences like you've just mentioned or social anxiety, there is a little bit of relief stepping out of the school system. But I do think that's been short-lived, that while initially there was some benefit to it, it's a struggle to be at home all the time, no matter how supportive your parents are, no matter what they do to keep things manageable. And adolescents are having a hard time to self-regulating right now because one of the things they're really retreating to or withdrawing to is their phone and social media. Yeah. And of course, that gives them a very curated view of how everybody else is coping. So I still think there's those struggles around anxiety and some of the social issues, although there may be a little bit of relief.
And Lynn, this stress is very bad for our health. What do you think is the long-term impact, not just on our teenagers, but on all of us? What has this last year done to our own medical outlooks?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. We have what's called adverse childhood experiences and toxic stress that has been studied for several years now. And it's been shown that individuals with significant toxic stress, even in childhood, can perpetuate through adulthood and lead to actually shortened life expectancies. And I'm sure this pandemic will be included in an adverse childhood experience or toxic stress when you think about it, So you have difficulty just kind of down regulating sometimes, if you're in this constant state of stress at all time, it just wears on the body. It's been shown to contribute to changes in brain architecture and even down to our DNA to a certain extent. So It's pretty significant and pretty severe. And so I'm sure that in the next few years, as we kind of look at this period, we'll probably find out a lot more information in terms of how it's taken a toll on our bodies and our health overall.
And on top of that, Mary Beth, we didn't, this is the first winter really, because last year we kind of started the real intense impact of this was really toward the spring. Now you can't get outside near as much. People who maybe suffer from seasonal, disorders. This is really the worst of it, right?
Absolutely. I think when you think of any group that's already been struggling with either a mood disorder or seasonal depression or compromised healthcare, education issues, that there's no margin for error right now. People's bandwidth is so low. So all of those issues from weather to resources exacerbates just the difficulty that adolescents and families are facing.
Lynn, I got just about 30 seconds left here. Your best advice for people moving forward now?
Wow, just to hang in there as much as possible. I think what's said, though, is listening to teenagers, let them validate their concerns and their angst and be as supportive as possible and try to do, things that bring you joy, if at all possible. Put the tablets down, put the computers down, and just take a breath of fresh air.
That's good advice for all of us. Yeah. Mary Beth Garvey, Dr. Lynn Smitherman, thank you both so much. Stay safe and sane, and really appreciate you being with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Devin.
We'll take a quick break. Back with more. We'll wrap things up on Flashpoint right after this.